In my world history classroom for today, we will be using the technology tool of ClassVR. So, for those who do not know, VR stands for virtual reality and AR stands for augmented reality. So, this is actually a sensory tool that can be used to improve student engagement and introduce virtual reality into your history classrooms. So, world history actually is 10th grade class for me. My students are going to go on a virtual field trip. So, with virtual field trips in Class VR, you take school trips and field trips that give experience in culture, history, geography, and so many other things right in your classroom. Isn't that amazing? So, today our learning aims are going to be to use virtual reality to enable students to explore Spain and its culture, maybe even learn some Spanish today. A little multidisciplinary action going on with language and culture, correct? Then we will also analyze Spanish landmarks and locations. So, the lesson plan that we are doing today was provided by ClassVR, which is one of the major perks to them. So they give you a practical session, the impact on learning, and give you a little feature of what to be expecting. So there are some things that you have to do to prepare your classroom for something like this. You do need to have the virtual reality set. This is expensive, and we know a lot of these public schools do not have the funding to make this happen for every student. But thankfully, ClassVR does offer demos and grants and funding depending on the school that you teach at. So I actually am in the process with my Title I school to see if we do qualify for something like this. But for now, if you cannot get a whole entire headset, class set, I would start off with maybe three and make it stations in my classroom, right? You got to do what you can with what you got. So we are exploring Spain. The Guggenheim Museum is going to be one of the focuses. So I was like, you know what? Let's differentiate for our teachers as well, the same way that we love to differentiate for our students. So I thought, what would a teacher who does not have access to augmented reality and virtual reality materials do during this time if I was a teacher who wanted to give my students the experiences that they deserved, but I was simply lacking the resources? So I went to Google Arts and Culture online. And when I tell you, I was shocked and amazed at the tools that they do offer that are very similar to the AR, VR setup that I looked at first, right? So if you just simply go to Google Arts and Culture, you can type in the museum that you're looking for. You could take your students to a specific location and honestly give them that same multi-sensory, immersive technology experience that they would be getting with ARVR, but you're actually just doing it through Google Arts and Culture. So even though they're not eyes covered, walking in it as immersively as when they have the AR glasses, it's still really helpful. So, as you can see, they do offer like different areas of the museum and a lot of things that you could do. So, I've actually used this for like World War I, World War II, and a lot of different instances in my classrooms, and the students can literally walk through the museums as if they're there in person. And it's just really super helpful in keeping them engaged. With social studies, it definitely is hard to allow students to build these connections and really understand why exactly they are learning, what it is that you have them there to learn. But when you can afford them these type of opportunities to look at exhibits personally and be able to click on sculptures, metal pieces, contemporary arts, different pieces of paper, and having them walking through the streets, it actually allows them so much interest and freedom that they would not necessarily have per se by just reading. So this is really heavy on the immersive part as well.